Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, theys, welcome back to episode number 16. Sweet 16 episode of the Ball Talk Boyos podcast. I am joined, as per usual, my brother from another mother and father, Joey Boreski. Joey, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic, Topher. Outside of some of the effects of my old age starting to creep up on me, I'm having a fantastic day. You know, the weather's beautiful. The sun's been shining here down in central Indiana, so it's great.
In what ways has old age started to affect you and your body?
Yeah, I pulled a muscle on my back for like the third time since I moved to Indiana in July. I just keep blowing my back out, man. It's crazy.
It'll sneak. I as well. I have well. I as well.
I have as well.
I have as well. I'm just using two of the three words each time I go through it. I have as well started to have back problems myself, and I don't feel like don't think that's great for our marathoning careers. Eventually to come as they get started sometime next year. But why won't you trade me Saquon Barkley?
Because you haven't given me a good offer. I mean,
Dude,
I would not consider for a second trading Saquon Barkley unless I'm getting like an elite wide receiver
all right.
for
Oh,
him.
you want an elite wide receiver?
If I was going to trade him, but honestly, I'm happy with my team right now. I
Oh
think
my
my team
god.
is
You're gonna do this for another year?
well. It's worked out for me the past 2 years. First of all, but second of
I
all,
think
my team. I Go ahead.
your team 2 years ago was actually pretty solid. I think this year it's left some to
This
be
year's
desired.
this year's better than last year. I've just gotten
No
incredibly unlucky
way.
this year. Yes, 100%. Because if Debo didn't have pneumonia that they didn't find out until he started playing the game on Sunday, so I started Amari Cooper, I would have won. And if I didn't make a stupid decision to bench Josh Jacobs for Ramondre Stevenson
Yeah,
before
that
because I
was
wanted to get that game up.
someone. I think Chad had mentioned that to me about how you'd done that, and he thought that was a bit of a
Well,
head scratcher.
I thought that game was going to be more simple. I didn't expect a Josh Jacobs receiving touchdown. Just assume
Yeah,
me.
what the most in what he had the most receptions in NFL history before catching a touchdown, right? Isn't that the stat?
Yeah, but I mean, I think I was still top half of the league in scoring. I think that would make the fourth game, fourth loss of my five losses, where I was top half of our league in scoring but lost the game.
Yeah.
So I'm really not too worried right now. I think I have a better roster than a good amount of people out there for sure. I think there's definitely some rosters right now where I'm just like, ooh, but I don't think I don't know. I'm not too worried. Season's still young. I've started 0-5 before and made the playoffs, so I'm not worried about a 2-5
When did you
start.
start 0-5?
Not these not last year, not the year before. The year before that, so 2021 that would have been.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get logged into my like ESPN on here so that way I can pull up your team and some other teams. Yeah, we have a lot of parity in our league this year in terms of. I mean, we have one guy at the top that has a better record that's like 5-2, and you're 2-5, and then it's kind of just the rest of us at 3-4 or um, 4-3. But it should be a good. Yeah, you're not too far down the list in terms of points scored. What do you look like depending on like record? What do you look at on your team to decide like how you've been performing so far?
Well, I mean, basically, I'm by far the team that's been scored the most against, and I'm like sixth or seventh. I think I'm sixth right now, maybe seventh in points for
I think you were seven.
with some injury issues I've had. Obviously, everyone's had some injury issues, so I'm not saying that's too much, but I think that's been a big thing. And plus, guys like Amari Cooper are starting to get into a better situation now. Debo Samuel, I expect to have a big jump now that Brandon Ayuk's out for the season. Plus, I mean, in terms of just my projection every week, I'm projected over 130 this week, and a lot of people aren't. And then even on top of that, when I look at my starters, they're either top 10 at their positions currently, or there's a significant reason why they haven't been performing up to expectations.
Garrett Wilson's the wide receiver number 5.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson's been really good the past few weeks. Like I genuinely have a good team. I just have been very unlucky, and yeah.
Interesting.
Also,
Go
ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to talk about Amari Cooper. So.
Mm-hmm. We can go with that.
Oh, I was just going to ask what your thoughts were. I think it happened either the day after or the day before. Oh my gosh, yeah, you've had 70 more points scored against you than anybody else. It's actually kind of funny. But what were your thoughts when you initially saw... Oh, I guess we have to add DeAndre Hopkins trade too. What were your initial thoughts when you saw... a lot of wide receiver trade talk we're doing today. What were your initial thoughts when you saw Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills, the Bills of Buffalo?
I think that was a really good move for both Amari Cooper and for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Amari Cooper, this season when he was playing on the Browns with a war criminal at quarterback, was still going out there and was like one of the top guys in the league in targets. And we can see that he's still got it in him. He's still really good. I think he's still a top 10 to 15 receiver, and I don't think that's even remotely biased. I think he's still up there for sure. I think he's still a top half wide receiver 1, or maybe somewhere in the middle there. It's like 15-ish, 15, 16. I think that's not a stretch whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the Bills were really, really in need of a wide receiver 1.
They just need someone else that could like truly separate.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what Amari Cooper brings. I mean, Keon Coleman is a very talented young receiver. They have some solid guys. Shakir's not bad. I think Curtis Samuel is decent. But, like, at the end of the day, they didn't have anyone who, game on the line, aliens are pointing the death beam down at Earth, and you need someone to catch, and there's no Iguodala. Amari Cooper here, and I would want Amari Cooper to be that guy. And I think that's what the Bills wanted as well.
Yeah, I think the one issue that they just could run into is if Josh Allen starts trying to force him the ball. But I think I said on this, like, on the podcast at some point, if not, then I've said it privately multiple times, that, like, I'd rather have Amari Cooper at his price point than I would Devontae Adams at what his contract situation is going to look like. Because Devontae Adams is owed a ton of money. And I don't know if Amari Cooper... I know all of his guaranteed money is up, but I don't think he even has any, like, remaining... he might be a free agent after this year.
He is.
Is he? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to check it right now. But yeah, if I know all of his... Yeah, it looks like his time is up. He also has... What is his contract? Signed a 5-year, $100 million deal with the Dallas Cowboys. And that will be up this year. But he also has other years listed on here, which is weird. But yeah, at his price point, he should be a good option. I can't remember. I think they like sent a like 5th with him and got like a 4th and a 6th in return. It was a bunch of like low end like picks. But I thought that deal was a lot better than the Devontae Adams deal. I don't know if we talked about like specifics with the Devontae Adams deal and how we felt about it. I think we just talked about what that looked like for the Jets, and obviously they look dead in the water. But and we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, Amari Cooper going to the Bills. What do you think that changes their ceiling at all, or?
I do think it changes their ceiling. I think it makes them a more surefire, at least contender to make a run to the Super Bowl. I think that wide receiver was a glaring hole, and it's a very important hole right there that was glaring for them. And so kind of filling that with a guy like Amari Cooper, who I am still very high on, who I think is a solid receiver. Obviously, he's not as good as he used to be, but he's still a solid wide receiver 1, like I've been saying. So getting someone who can go out there and catch the ball as long as he's not dropping the ball, I think that's a very good thing for the Bills, and I think that's only a positive.
Don't worry. I'll keep the flag tucked away today. We'll leave her in the pocket. That'll
Thank God.
stay in the pocket. No need to have that. As well as I know I am incredibly biased at times, but
No,
like I've said,
no.
like I've said before, I control the narrative. The story will be what I want it to be. Another wide receiver did get moved in DeAndre Hopkins. Let me look. I don't know what his contract exactly looked like, but let's say, what day was that? Wednesday morning. It was yesterday morning, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wednesday morning?
That was Wednesday.
Wednesday. You wake up Wednesday morning, you roll over, you peek at your phone. What's your initial thought when you see DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, first of all, I gotta say, I wasn't rolling over and peeking my phone and seeing DeAndre Hopkins trade. I've been up and at him for hours at that point. Time is money, money is time.
That's just because you're an East Coast time. So it was like,
I'm chasing that bag. So let's just make that very clear off the.
That's just because you're an East Coast guy now. So it's 8:00 there when this is coming through.
Yeah, I don't know why Central Indiana is East Coast time, but
yeah, it does.
Time
zones are a really weird thing, because isn't like Central like it feels very small. Like, how do time zones work? I get the concept of it. It's like how the sun rotates, but like it feels like the East Coast time zone takes up a lot more than. This line isn't even straight? Oh, no. This is ludicrous. And it's only... What? Only a tiny portion of Indiana is considered a central time zone?
Yeah, including Terre Haute,
the top
Indiana.
And the bottom? Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Folks, this is what happens when Time Zones for Dummies doesn't have a book.
What in the world are they doing with Idaho and Oregon? Only a tiny bit of Oregon is in the Mountain Time Zone. This is ridiculous. Why is there not more outrage about this?
It's the obviously I'm making a joke here for people listening who might get triggered. It's the liberal media bias trying to silence our opinions. They're trying to silence it and silence us from realizing the truth. But all I gotta say is, beautiful Terre Haute, Indiana is on Central Time Zone for when the Carthage Firebirds inevitably make their return to the national championship for Division III cross country on November 16th. No, 23rd.
23rd, yeah, it's that next week. It's been... I don't even know how long it's been. But why is there not more talk about this?
Because they're trying to keep us down. They're trying to keep our minds feeble.
I might have to tweet about this post podcast. Like, is Kansas City in the? Well, Kansas City is in Missouri, so I guess they are in the Central Time Zone. But part of Kansas is in Mountain Time Zone. Why isn't this a straight line?
Why isn't it a straight line? Because back in the day, it was kind of up to whoever was in charge of that specific area to choose what time zone they're going to be on.
This is ridiculous. I'm upset.
Yeah. And just think, this is all because you asked me about the DeAndre Hopkins trade.
Who would have thought we would have gotten there?
Yeah, shout out D-Hop. But with the DeAndre Hopkins trade, I gotta say it's a really good move for the Chiefs. I mean, they really needed some help in that wide receiver room with all the injuries they've suffered, and so adding a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, even at his old age, I think will be a huge help for them. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins I don't remember the last time DeAndre Hopkins played with a competent quarterback. I'm trying to think. I feel like it's been a minute at least.
I mean, it's only been. We're only 1 year removed from him being on he was on the Cardinals with Kyler.
But Kyler Murray has proven this year with my sweet, precious King Maserati Marv that he cannot get his elite talent the ball as much as they should.
You still had a 1,000-yard year last year.
Yeah, and imagine if you had a good quarterback.
I don't even know. The Marv thing is all weird. People keep posting
Yeah.
that one highlight of him getting free, but like you can't see that like Kyler was under pressure during that.
Well,
Um,
the thing with Marv, I've seen a stat floating around a bunch this week about how his like average yards per route run is like the third or fourth most in the NFL, and it's up there with like the deep threat merchants like an Alec Pierce and stuff like that, like the guys who only really go
he's
deep. It's
getting
like
targeted downfield.
no, it's like he's getting his routes are all like downfield stuff. So like he's not really getting any of the stuff that he's like, up a ton in terms of routes like that, but he's not getting any like the shorter routes that he was really good at or that he would be more successful with because obviously if you're running a slant route, you're more likely to get the ball than someone who's just running straight down the field.
Yeah, we'll see. But D Hop, it's only like a kind of a time will tell. Obviously, like they needed. Patrick Mahomes has been pitiful this year thus far, so it is really just going to be how much better can he start playing. Like I'm going to be honest, if he wins MVP this year, I might be done with football.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that,
entirely fair.
like that might be it. He's been bad. Like
Yeah.
I was looking through the only like and take my opinion for what you will when it comes to analyzing like quarterback statistics, but like the only like quarterback like meaningful quarterback statistic that he was top 10 in was like completion percentage. And that's like a skewed stat cuz I think Jaden Daniels might still be leading the NFL in that. So like
Yeah.
it's he's been bad, so like elevating that team to hopefully be better with because they've lost Rasheed Rice, um, Juju Juju Smith Schuster in the Lord's year of 2024 is going to be out for some chunk of time now, and we'll see what they look like. But I mean, Xavier Worthy's going to be just kind of a gadget guy, and like what?
I was just looking forward to hearing what you're saying about Xavier Worthy.
I was going to say he's just a gadget guy.
Which is fair. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like we were talking about it with. I was talking about it with people, and I was like, if the Bills had drafted him, like it would have just been Curtis Samuel again. Like there would have been a lot of redundancy with that team. So adding Keon Coleman added an element like win 50-50 ball element to it. Puka Nacua has been good tonight. He just made another catch. But yeah, D Hop. We still probably think the Chiefs are like Super Bowl favorites at this point, regardless of how Lamar's played thus far. Kareem Hunt's also been pretty good in his few games. I was also thinking I don't even have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans down on this list for talking about this week. A lot of wide receiver talk.
Yeah, I mean that's the talk of the town right now.
Did you see the stuff about the Cooper Cup trade stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, he almost came down with that. What were your thoughts on hearing the idea that Cooper Cup was going to be floated in trade talks?
I mean, I've heard Cooper Kupp. I've even heard Matthew Stafford in trade talks
Yeah.
right now. So, like, I mean, the Rams are going to have to decide whether they want to try to contend this year, and this game's going to be a big part of whether they're going to go all in or go out. If they lose tonight, I wouldn't be surprised to see those guys traded, like, tomorrow.
Yeah. That was. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But, I mean, I think that it makes sense. Cooper Kupp is still a very valuable asset. Obviously, he's been injury prone, but he did have the triple crown or whatever it's called for football, like just a couple of years ago. So he's still really good. I mean, when he's played this year, he caught a touchdown tonight already. So I mean, Cooper Kupp's still a really good guy, good receiver. So it's just gonna depend where he goes. I've seen the Steelers links to him the most, which oh brother, that just gives me a headache. But I mean, it gives a Russell Wilson, who's also looking like he's not bad at this point. Gives him a good option.
He might
desperately needs
that career. But the Cooper Cup thing, I think I was talking about it with Quinn and Connor and Gabe. And and some others. I think Chad was around when we were talking about it. But the Cooper Cup thing, I think, was entirely just. It is a combination of trying to get what you can for the asset, and then I think it was just like, if we eat some of the money, can we get a first round pick for it? Because like the Raiders got a third that I think is going to become a second. Like, I forget what stipulations made it go from a third to a second, but I think it was like likely that it was going to go to a second. So, and they weren't eating any of the money. So I was like, if we eat some of this money left, like, could we get a first or even like just like a guaranteed second? And then the Puka thing, like, they pushed him to play tonight. Like, did you see? He just kind of like randomly was like, yeah, we're like. I don't know if you have him in any fantasy football leagues, but he was like randomly upgraded to questionable.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I didn't think that, I hadn't heard anything going into today about him being on the radar of playing, and then all of a sudden he's out there on the field tonight. So I'm just like,
he just made a crazy catch too. But yeah, like he just randomly got upgraded to questionable, and I was like, what in the world? Like, I did not think he was like even. I knew Cup was coming back tonight, but I didn't think Puka was on the radar, and I think that plays into the part that you were talking about, that like if they don't win tonight, like they could be in sell mode, and I think that like the two reasons they could have pushed Puka to play is like they feel like he's ready, and like they do feel like tonight's a must win, because the NFC. Sorry, Barb. I don't even think Barbara like watches or listens. But like NFC West is not like no one's running away with that division right now.
No.
Like, the Niners clearly aren't the Niners. Like the Rams like struggled to start the year. I'm not buying the Seahawks a ton.
No.
And then like the Cardinals, I think are probably just like, I think they're good, but they're probably just like a mediocre team that's going to be like, what a horrible pick. Stafford just threw a really bad pick. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm getting picks being thrown. I'm getting texts about fantasy football group chats. I'm all over the place today. It's been a long day. I had a midterm yesterday.
People still taking midterms in the Lord's year of 2024. That's crazy.
Dude, I didn't come here to play school.
Shout
You
out
want
to
to talk?
Jones.
You want to talk Watson?
2014, Cardell Jones. Sorry. Yeah, let's talk Watson though.
You can lead the discussion on this.
You know, I was taught from a very young age that when an athlete, no matter how much you hate them, no matter how much you wish the worst on them, no matter how horrible of a person they are, you don't wish injury upon them, right? That's what I was taught. That's how I grew up. Those are the values that were instilled in me. And I still carry those same values whenever I'm watching sports. But when a guy like Deshaun Watson goes down with an injury, and you have the whole stadium of Cleveland fans cheering because they knew it's over. They knew that change was coming. They knew that
At least for this year,
Watson wasn't there, that wasn't going to hurt them anymore for the rest of the season. I'm not going to sit there and shame them for that. And having a guy like Jameis Winston, obviously Dorian Thompson-Robinson got the initial nod there, but he's not going to be a starter. Jameis Winston's the best quarterback on that roster. And I'm just excited to see some life. Jameis Winston can go out there and throw 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions every single game, and I'd be okay because, at least there's something going on. At least we're in these games. At least we have a chance because Lord knows that we did not have a chance with Deshaun Watson. So, I wasn't cheering when Watson got injured. I wasn't out there praying for that, but I'm not upset because I'm just glad that he can't hurt me anymore.
that's fair. I think it says a lot about the guy that all of his teammates kind of had like a very similar message, but I am like all in all, I am very excited about the Jameis Winston experience because like largely like playoff expectations for the Cleveland Browns likely over.
No, we're back. We're so back. We're running the table. We're running the table.
Are you
Book
joking?
it. Yeah, I'm joking.
Okay. The flag was ready to come out.
I'm just playing.
But like he gets to play with no pressure. Like I don't see why he shouldn't be starting the next 10 weeks and like, to see Jameis Winston potentially now be competing for a starting job once again in the NFL is very I mean we are like friends, like we talk about Jameis Winston very often. And like if we're still doing this podcast in 15 years, like we might just make this is the Jameis Winston Boyo of the week. Like it's sponsored by Jameis Winston.
If we get that Ball Talk Boyos office with little desk, you're gonna see like a Jameis Winston like cardboard cutout behind
One of those fat heads.
something like that. Yeah.
It's a fat head of Jameis. Like we have a running, like you named a running route after Jameis Winston. And it stinks that now he's going to be starting at like this point in our season when we're like tapering and there's like we're not going to run that far. But we've already decided the first long run we start running our like most distant, like the distance that it requires to go that we're doing Jameis in honor
Yeah.
of week 8 Jameis Winston getting a start in the NFL.
Yeah, it's a beautiful 12-mile route in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
For anyone who is for some reason listening, capable of running 12 miles for fun, and is in the Kenosha, Wisconsin area.
Given who I could guess
Strava.
Our audience is, I'm sure a lot of it is probably people who already will run that.
Well, there's some people who like to corrupt the feeble minds of some of the younger runners into going other ways and doing the same freaking route every single day without fail.
To be fair, I've run with like essentially just Quinn, Connor, and Gabe every single day, and like a couple of other people, like Charles floats in and out, and a couple of other people float in and out. But it's largely just been like the 4 of us, and we do the exact same thing every week. Like Monday's bike path Monday, Tuesday workout, Wednesday off, Thursday is lighthouse. And then Friday workout or pre-meet, and then whatever the rest of the week. But Monday and Thursday are the exact same every single week, and it's great.
Yeah, man, BP Monday. Nothing quite as electric as that. I always remember my last BP Monday.
There will be many more. There's no such thing as a last. It's just the next. For the last for now. But Jameis Winston, yeah, I'm excited to see him because he kind of got a raw deal that last year. Not last year, 2 years ago in New Orleans, where he lost his starting job to Andy Dalton, actually, like due to injury. Like it had nothing, and I don't even think Andy Dalton played impressively once Jameis went down. And that, like, Jameis Winston's a starting quarterback in the NFL.
For
like,
sure, he should be, yeah.
That's a hill, like, I think most people, the higher of mind should agree upon is that Jameis Winston should be a starting quarterback in the NFL. And I'm very excited for the prospect of that. Another quarterback that seems to have revived their Hall of Fame case, potentially, in Russell Wilson, made his season debut this past week. I think if you looked at like the accolades, like I know he doesn't have any MVP votes, but like I think outside of that, he's probably a Hall of Famer. But what were your thoughts? I think we've talked about this in the past, but who did you think should be starting for the Steelers?
I mean, I thought Justin Fields should be the starter.
I feel like I always said Russ.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I've always been very high on Justin Fields for certain reasons.
Oh my gosh.
But
Justin Jefferson just made a crazy catch. Sorry, continue.
I've always been high on Justin Fields for certain reasons, but I think that I think he's got a high ceiling. I still think he has a potential to be a starting quarterback. It's like I think he's shown this year that he's a starting quarterback in this league. But at the end of the day, him and Russ at this current stage are pretty similar. And if anything, based on that's why I thought going into the year. Going into the year, I'm like they're pretty similar.
Oh, okay.
Based on what we saw this past week, I mean, it looks like Russ is the real deal. I mean, it looks like Russ is a competent starting quarterback in the NFL.
It looked like Russell Wilson. Like
he looked good, yeah.
Like
and
it looked like Seahawks Russell Wilson. Like it wasn't. And like this is a guy like he gets clowned a lot, but like this is a guy you should root for to like do like seems like a genuinely good person and like he was slinging it. Like it was truly like it was perfect. Like he was dropping the ball exactly where it needed to be. Like I'm all in on the shout out Trev. Not even I'm sorry Trev, but just shout out Trev because you might have actually gotten a quarterback. And not that Justin Fields has been bad, but like Russell Wilson put the New York Jets to bed.
Yeah, I mean Russell Wilson was one of the most popular quarterbacks in the NFL up until he went to the Broncos, and then he just started getting hated because he's corny.
And it was Sean Payton's and the guy before I can't remember his name.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, who's now bad
the Jets.
With the Jets. Not a penalty. But yeah, like they were bad for him, and like they stopped doing a lot of the things that made Russell Wilson. So, like I almost thought about picking up like Russell Wilson in like every single fantasy football league and starting him.
I considered it too. Yeah.
We'll see how things go. But on to the Jets. Do you think it's done now? Like are they just dead in the water?
I don't think they're dead in the water.
Not yet. At 2-5, you're not ready to call in the corner.
No, absolutely not. I think if they go win 5 straight games right now, they're 7-5, and I don't think a 5-game win streak is preposterous. I don't know their schedule. Obviously, it's just like me blindly talking, but like the Jets still do have talent. The Jets still are good defensively. The Jets clearly have talent on the offensive end, and that offense has looked a lot better last week with
definitely
calling plays.
Definitely been getting Brees much more involved now,
and Garrett Wilson too. Which
not as much this past week, but the 2 weeks before, yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying like they have talent. Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson that might be the best receiver duo that might be the best receiver duo in the league. I'm trying to think who beats them, and I don't want to hear any. The only one that competes, I think, is Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I don't want to hear any of that.
That was the only one I was gonna say, and maybe the Rams.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. The Rams and them, and then maybe the Bengals. I don't want to hear any of this Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill crap.
Texans might have a comparable one.
Diggs and Nico.
Yeah, probably. Nico's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Well, I mean that's a little biased, but he is very good.
He's a dog, dude. He was a dog the entire the first.
He's top 10 for sure. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready to call him top 5, but he's top 10 for sure. I will agree with you on that.
First five games, like he was unguardable.
Yeah.
He was doing it against the freaking whatchamacallits that have now he was doing it against the Bears, who look like they have a scary secondary.
Yeah.
Not the Eagles, I would say. I'm trying to think of other wide receiver duos. Not the Ford. Ayuk looked like a shell of himself before he got hurt.
The Browns, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore.
You mean Cedric Wilson?
I don't even know who our second best receiver is right now, man. I'm checked out.
I mean, the Buccaneers could have an argument, but
not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. But the next 5 games for the New York Jets, They go Patriots, Texans, Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks. So 4 like competitive games you would envision. The next, other than the Patriots this week, 4 competitive games. What over that 5 game stretch would have you being like, all right, like,
If they go 4-1, I'm back in on the Jets. I mean, 4-1 would put them what 500 then? They'd be 6-6, and if they're 6-6,
6-5?
no, they'd be 6-6.
Oh yeah, they're
2-5.
Yeah, 2-5. Good call.
If they're 6-6, and I'm pretty sure their schedule continues to get easier towards the end of the season as well. I don't see any reason why they can't then go like classic Steelers 9-8, even like 10-7, and 10-7 I think is right around the playoff bubble there. So I don't see any reason that the Jets can't do it.
Those last 5 games do not get much easier.
Okay, never mind then.
Dolphins, Jags, Rams, Bills, and then Dolphins again.
Well, I think that really just comes down to is Tua.
Yeah, it like
Standing.
having 2 games against the Dolphins, like it's like what do they look like with Tua coming back?
If Tua's still standing, then yeah, that's not an easier schedule. But
Yeah, but if he's back to being banged up, which this isn't on here, but I just thought of it. Which wide receiver injury like concerns you more, the Brandon Ayuk or I guess both Buccaneers wide receivers now being out for an extended period of time? 2 of the like Godwin for a year, Evans at least for 4 weeks. It seems like I think is what they said.
well, Evans, I'm not too concerned about because his wasn't nearly as severe as the other 2.
I think they just said it's going to be at least week 11.
Yeah, but I mean, at least he should be back this season at some point, which is good. I'm probably a little more concerned about Godwin, just because Godwin's a little bit older. And
I was more talking about from like a team perspective. Like obviously,
team. Oh, okay, yeah.
which team is going to be more impacted by the loss of their star wide receiver?
The Bucks. The Bucks for sure.
You think the Bucks?
Yes, for sure. I think that the Niners do have a guy like Deebo Samuel there, who is good. Jawan Jennings has also been pretty solid. I mean, it's not. I think Deebo Samuel is already better than Brandon Ayuk, and I don't think that's ridiculous to say that.
I think that's ridiculous to say that.
I think Deebo. I think they also are very different though.
I think they are very different, but I think all of the like advanced stuff is probably gonna like I bet Ayuk separates better than Deebo. I'm just saying like it has to play a role at some point, but like. I bet all of the advanced stuff says Ayuk's a better wide receiver than Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel's just a gadget guy again. Like, he's a yards after catch merchant.
He's a yards after catch merchant? Oh no, he's good at doing something special once the ball's in his hand. What? Yards after catch merchant? Okay, that's up there with the Kevin O'Connell merchant.
Nah, these are completely different things.
That's up there with that. Crazy.
No, it's not.
That's crazy. Yards after catch merchant might be crazier, to be honest.
No, it's not.
Yards after catch merchant?
We're best of friends. Deebo Samuel's not that good.
But yards after catch merchant.
Yeah.
So once he gets the ball, he's only good because he's special with the ball.
He had 1 good year. I don't know why you won't just move on from this.
This is crazy. But anyways, I think that the Buccaneers are in a little more trouble just because Mike Evans is out and Chris Godwin is out. Chris Godwin's out the whole year, and Mike Evans, even when he comes back, I think it's hamstring. That's always iffy. I mean, we see all Cooper Kupp lose pretty much a whole year to a hamstring injury. So I think that's going to be pretty iffy.
It also just puts the 1,000-yard consecutive streak at risk a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably dead.
I think he's supposed to come back with like 7 games to play, in theory, and I think he'd need like just under 100 yards averaged.
Man,
Yeah.
that streak might be dead.
It's probably dead. But I'm more concerned with the 49ers than I am the Buccaneers.
Which is
I
fair.
think
I
we
mean,
had I think we had higher expectations for the 49ers, obviously, and I think those are more impacted with that loss than the Buccaneers, who like could still win their division. I think. Um, I mean,
that's a good point.
their weapons left over aren't great either. I mean, you're probably having nightmares about Rashad White in your sleep now, but
I hate Rashad White so much. I hate him so much now.
I love Rashad White. I have an emotional attachment to him just because he was good for my team last year. Um,
Not good enough.
all right, that'll be it. I don't even know how he did. Fuck. Now, shoot. Excuse my language. Now I'm going to look to see how he did in the playoffs last year.
For fantasy?
Yeah. You got me all riled up. How do I even look at league history on here? I know there's a way to do it. There we go.
Can you even look at like week by week scoring?
Yeah, I
Like that?
freaking can. Shot like 7 doors. This team is so good. Taken from us too soon. He had 21 fantasy points. I actually got blown out. Oh no. That's Anakin Skywalker. Hold on. How much did you beat me by? DeMarcus Robinson just got a touchdown.
Dang it.
Like
And Cooper Cup. I have Cooper Cup in the track league.
Oh. He caught a touchdown earlier. Oh.
Yeah.
That was pass interference on the defense. I can't remember how bad you beat me. You only beat me by 13. But yeah, moral of the story, Rashad White's the GOAT. I'm all in on Rashad White. He's slowly killing Joey, so, we'll see how that goes. Any other thoughts on NFL Week 7?
No.
Nice. NBA opening nights have happened the last 2 days. I obviously wrote the couple of things down that I wanted to mention, but were there any other things that you wanted to bring up?
I just want to say, and get it in I want there to be a recording somewhere of me saying that I think Evan Mobley is going to be the most improved player this year. I just want that to be there. But that goes into the greater conversation of what is the most improved player in the NBA. I mean, are they just going to give it to Victor Wembanyama because Victor Wembanyama makes like a jump that we all expect him to make?
Yeah.
Or are we going to give it to a guy like Evan Mobley, or someone of that caliber who would take a jump to like an all-star, basically is what it would take for him to get it? Or do we give it to a guy like let's say, in theory, I'm trying to think of some random NBA dude. Crap. Let's say Karis LeVert goes out there and puts up 25 a night. Is Karis LeVert going to get most improved player then? Like, is that
Yeah.
like, it's I mean, it shouldn't be the young star who breaks out award. Come on.
If Wemby's gonna wind up being in the like MVP conversation, which I think some people, like a lot of people, think he is going to be, then he shouldn't be the most improved player. Like that would make no, like all of us expected Wemby to do that. Yeah, I agree on that front. I'm out on Wembanyama. Like I'm not out on Wembanyama, but I'm out on Wembanyama winning the most improved player.
Yeah.
The Celtics did exactly as I said they were going to do. Like
Yep.
I don't know why. Like let me look up Jason Tatum's stat line from the other night because I mean I tried to tell people. And they played tonight. And Jason Tatum had 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists in 29 minutes. Like,
Tonight?
yeah.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown had 27. Derek White had 19. And they still have Kristaps Porzingis coming back. But, like, we knew this was going to happen. Joe Mazzulla might be my favorite coach in, like, all of sports. Like, aside from you, Coach Henry. I don't know if he watches. I've told him about this.
I don't think Coach Henry's watching this.
He's gone to look for it before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I know Greg follows us on Instagram.
Greg probably doesn't watch.
No. But
Coach Henry, if you're watching, you're my favorite coach in sports. But Joe Mazzulla might be my favorite NFL, or not NBA head coach because he is a psychopath, and I love it. Did you see what he said about like what the court tasted like?
What?
So as they were going through the ring ceremony, like he was walking out on the court and he like got down and like he kissed like the court, and like the reporters afterwards were like, what did it taste like? And he goes, blood, or at least I wish it did. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, more Joe Mazzulla. Like, this man is electric. Like, it is truly electric, and he has the Celtics, like, they are not going to have Jason Tatum, 37 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds in 30 minutes on opening night. But he is not going to let this team go through a championship hangover. And the NBA media has messed up talking about Jason Tatum like they have. So I'm not at all surprised by their dominance. And Mikal Bridges' jump shots broke, apparently. So go ahead.
I just gotta say, this Joe Mazzulla love is a very convenient way for you to start claiming that you're a Celtics fan, and all of a sudden you're a huge Celtics fan, and Celtics are winning.
I'm a Tatum guy,
and add to your long list of and long history of
I'm not
bandwagon.
See, here's the thing. Connor, I was talking about it with Connor today, or he brought it up to me, and he, in a way, said I wasn't a bandwagon.
Okay, well, Connor clearly has a few screws loose. And I know Connor's listening to this. Connor, you have a few screws loose, you're telling Toe for that.
He's a what?
I'm telling Connor he has a few screws loose if he's telling you that you are not bandwagon.
I mean, I've been very vocal in that I'm not a team guy, like a teams guy. Like, I'm just a players guy. Like, I just follow, and whatever team they're going to be on, I support. So if that makes me, like, a bandwagon for a team that has been wildly unsuccessful, and I'm struggling with words tonight, but unsuccessful in my lifetime, then I don't know, but like
there's nothing wrong with being a bandwagon. I'm not judging you. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But I am judging you and blaming you. And
but it's like it's just like the player that I like. It's not like I'm
yeah.
Like I don't really care about the Cowboys. Like, I don't really care about the Lakers. Like, I care about the success of individual players, which I think is different. Like, if I were just like, you know what, Joey, you want to know something funny? The first Little League team I ever played for was the Dodgers. So I am now a Dodgers fan. And yada, yada, yada. Like if I tried to pull some BS like that, or if, like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to think of other, like, I'm a Red Sox fan, so I'm basically a Boston fan, and I'm like, I never claimed New England. Like, I had you can ask my dad. Maybe we'll have to get our dads on here at some point. But, like, I hated Tom Brady, and, like, I did not like him. But it's just I support players, so, like, I don't. That makes me a bandwagon soap. It's not like I'm like, dude, Patrick Mahomes threw an incomplete pass intentionally the other day, and it was so cool. Like, anyways, Bronny James
Yeah.
Made his debut. People talk about him like he was like a lottery pick,
I don't know if
which
they
I think
talk
is a
about.
little.
They talk about him more than if he was a lottery pick. I think
Yeah.
he gets by far the most coverage of any rookie,
Oh yeah.
and I think the expectations people put on him though is that he's a lottery pick. When in
Yeah.
reality,
He was the 55th,
he was the 55th pick, and
I think.
I mean if we're being honest here, he was a bit of a it was a bit of nepotism there. Which again, I am okay with nepotism. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think if you are at the top of your field, you should be able to hire whoever you want, whenever you want, and I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with that. And it just comes down to it's not what you know, it's who you know, or not. It's not how good you are at basketball. It's who you know that plays basketball. So I mean, I'd be a hypocrite to sit here and say that someone like Bronny James, who is underqualified, or in this case, not as good at basketball as he should be, getting a job playing for the Lakers is anything different than, I don't know, let's say hypothetically some kid from Carthage College graduated with 2 internships in sales and then got like a really high level sales job. Like that. That's not. I don't see any difference in that. I mean, it is what it is, man. There's nothing. It's okay. Like that's fine. Like he can either grind or he can burn out and get laid off within a month. We'll see what happens with Bronny though.
Aside from whatever weird identity crisis you're having right now, the Bronny James thing is interesting to me because like people say there's the element of like nepotism, but like in my opinion, NBA draft picks don't matter. Like they're worthless, especially second rounders. Like who gives a crud who they pick? Like if they take a guy that like sure if there were nepotism, who cares? But like largely like those guys are like you like a tool. Like you like something about them makes you want to take them. And they're buying on like if this guy turns into a crud. Aaron Jones made a long catch. But if he turns into bench player at a bench role player at any point in his career, that is a success from that draft slot. Because I bet if we went through the list of 50 if second rounders in general, I bet 95% of them we've never heard of. Or if we have, it's just because like recently we knew them in college, but we wouldn't know them for their NBA careers.
Well,
Like,
yeah. I mean, like you're completely right, and I think that
and he's also not going
to
to spend a lot of time with the professional team. Like, he's going to go to the G League, and that's where the opportunity to see if he can be a bench player in the NBA will come in.
and on top of that, I mean, I've seen people talking about they don't know if LeBron would be playing right now if the opportunity to play with Bronny and have that moment and have his son be on the same team as him. Like I've seen people say that. Like let's say in a hypothetical world, LeBron would not be playing right now
He may
because of
not come
Bronny or
back
anything
to
like
the
that.
Lakers, but I think he'd still be playing.
I know, but let's say in some hypothetical world that's the case, the Lakers it'd be the best interest of the Lakers to draft Bronny there, so they get another. Like you're telling me, Bronny playing 3 minutes in one NBA game is gonna be that much of an issue if you make it means you get another year, another 2 years, another 3 years of LeBron James. Come on, like
Yeah. We also see like lottery pick guards spend their entire rookie years in the G League now.
yep, yep.
Like he's gonna go to the G League, he's gonna see if he can develop a rhythm at that level, and then come back up in spurts throughout the year to see if he can find a place at the NBA level. But like to be overreacting to preseason games when the kid's 19, 20, and he's just finding his bearing, and thankfully he's got the greatest player of all time as a dad to be there and mentor him through every bit of it. Like that moment's got to be like incomprehensibly cool
Oh yeah,
from like LeBron's like perspective. Like he was sitting there with his son on the bench, and he was like, I get to go on the same court as you as equals.
I mean, that's so cool. I'm not close to being a dad, but if I was a dad, like I can only imagine that's how exactly I would love that. I would I already know I would do anything for my kid, and I'd
Yeah.
want my kid to be successful, and like
Yeah.
being able to have that moment with your son
Yeah.
is absurdly cool. Like yeah, that's special. That's
So
special.
we'll see. I'm rooting for the Bronny James
Yep.
story. I hope it works. Like just like he's realistically, he's not going to be a superstar. He's already done better than either of Michael Jordan's kids did. And he's probably not going to date any of his dad's teammates, ex-wives, probably at any point in his lifetime. Um, remember that
Oh no, I know that what Marcus Jordan is dating or married
was
to Larsa Pippen.
yeah.
Was,
but
but
like
she has her own issues going on.
yeah, so like we're never gonna see that, but like I'm rooting for the Bronny James story as time goes on. Anything else from NBA? We don't really have anything to go off of. I mean, you can't make a judgment off one game, and I'm not as invested in the NBA to like have dove into like any of like the trends, or maybe we revisit like the NBA. Like we'll talk about the storylines, but from a big picture standing MVP standpoint, like we'll probably revisit this every other episode, every three, probably every 10 games that go by. Like we'll probably revisit it because I feel like you have to get at least. I'm excited about the JJ Redick. I think has made an impact already on the Lakers.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't care how the Lakers do. As long as LeBron gets another chip on his fingy, I don't care. So like it just helps my narratives. Joey's College Sports Corner. What do you got for me?
Sure. First off, just gotta say condolences to the University of South Florida family. Their basketball coach, Amir Abdur-Rahim, who was very, very good coach, on the rise, had interest from some higher level teams, passed away at 43 today, which is just really sad. Came out of nowhere, and South Florida's a program that he brought on the rise in just his 1 year, so condolences for that. But I gotta say, and I'll say on top of that, Tony Bennett stepped away from Virginia. I don't touch on that for a second last week, but it's just because of the changing landscape of college basketball. So there's a lot of changes in college basketball right before the season.
Wait,
but,
another Virginia head coach?
No, that's their Virginia head coach. The one I talked about last week stepped away.
I thought it had to do with his.
No, it didn't. Oh. That was a rumor. That was a rumor.
I don't know. Okay.
That the wife's health was a rumor that was out there, but it ended up in his press conference at least. Maybe it is the case, but in his press conference at least, he talked about how college basketball is changing and can't keep up and doesn't want to do it anymore.
Interesting.
Basically, but college football is so beautiful and so fun. I mean, we got Vanderbilt ranked number 25 right now. Army and Navy are both ranked.
Aren't we? Isn't this weekend Navy Notre Dame?
Yeah, Navy Notre Dame.
What?
Why
is Army and Navy throwing the ball?
It's
like why are there 3 numbers next to how many passing yards they have?
That's a good point. I've been
there should
looking at that.
There should be 1, maybe 2. Not enough triple option.
Yeah, I mean it's changing college football. It's shrinkflation or whatever. It's called because of inflation, because of the economy. This would never have happened if
their wide receivers need to stop asking for the ball, shut up, get out wide, and block for the gosh darn run. This is not Army Navy football.
But it's working. And
sold their soul for a college football playoff bid.
I mean, Army and Navy both being undefeated still is crazy. If Navy beats Notre Dame, I'm ready to.
Aren't they going to Isn't
I
Army
mean,
going to play Notre Dame too?
yeah, I mean, if they both beat Notre Dame, that'd be crazy.
And they
I
play each
still
other a couple of times. Like they're realistically going to play each other twice this year, right?
possibly. I don't think either of them are the best team in their conference, though. I think the best team in the American Conference is Tulane. Tulane just happens to have 2 losses out of conference to I think it was Kansas State and Oklahoma. But Army and Navy being so good is so cool. Obviously, the favorite for the Heisman right now is Ashton Genty of Boise State.
As you should.
College football is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And you got the Indiana Hoosiers
Yeah.
looking like they are legitimate contenders for the college football playoff. I'm not ready to say national championship yet, but my words about them are going to age like fine wine. Age like fine wine because Indiana is so good. Big Ten runs college football. If you're an SEC fan,
Yeah, this year
scram.
especially, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, what, two... I know
I mean, no clue what's going on at the top of the SEC.
SEC is a mess. People are saying that they're all so good they're cannibalizing each other, but frankly, I
They're
just
probably
think
all
that
just not great, but like just fine.
I mean, I think there are some teams that are really good. I think Georgia is very, very good. I think Texas is solid, but hopefully they lose this week to Vanderbilt. But I think that it's going to be Big Ten SEC shows. This is how it's going to be from now on. Those are the 2 best conferences. A team from one of those conferences winning the national championship. I think it's going to be. I'm going to stick with Ohio State or Georgia.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those 2 teams. I know Ohio State just lost to Oregon, but I think Ohio State is still better than Oregon, and that's not ridiculous. So, yeah. But college football is great. Obviously, as we get deeper into the college football season, we'll have more to talk about. But I just love college sports, whether it's college football, college basketball, or Division III cross country. I'm loving it.
What? It's okay. Once Ole Miss wins out and I look like a genius, it's gonna be great. And when is Miami finally gonna lose?
They're not until they play a team outside the ACC because the ACC refs are bailing them out.
Yeah, they're a bunch of frauds. Would you raise your hand for my Ole Miss thought?
That reminded me, we need to add a new segment about the MCAA, the Minecraft college football. Have you seen that?
Dude, I just saw West Villager State upset Creeper Tech. I think it was number 18 Creeper Tech.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you said Ole Miss, and that reminded me of my personal favorite team in the NCAA, Ole
You're
Miss.
an Ole Moose guy?
I'm
Gosh,
an Ole Miss guy.
what a bandwagon.
How am I a bandwagon? How?
Wasn't Ole Moose there at the Pig State bombing? Both?
Allegedly.
Number 2. And then they had to
Hey, listen.
and then Villager Tech had to go and host the memorial for it. Not even Ole Moose.
My favorite player of all time in the NCAA is Debo Hamuel, the Hero Bronzeman winner. Okay, I love Pig State plenty. Let's not talk about. But yeah, no, NCAA is great. I just want to.
Oh, the videos are wonderful.
It's that's absurd. But yeah, beautiful.
I saw a reenactment of the Alabama Auburn like Iron Bowl,
Yep.
like the big one the other day. So that was pretty fun. World Series starts tomorrow. How does that make you feel that the Cleveland Guardians will not be participating?
Well, I didn't expect them to be participating, and frankly, them making the ALCS just gave me false hope and gave me some reason to believe and gave me a little reason to root for baseball again. But now that they lost, because they're never going to be a big market team because baseball is stupid and doesn't have a salary cap. It's just how it is.
We might have to do an argument about that because I actually like the no salary cap.
Of course you are a Red Sox fan, yeah.
See, the Red Sox don't even spend like that much, but it's
Yeah, but they can, and they have, and they will.
yeah, but they haven't like recently. They haven't.
They'll be fine again. We have fucking James Dolan. I'm sorry, I swore. Whoops. We have freaking James Dolan, or his brother or something, as our owner in Cleveland, and we all know that's some of the worst owners in sports right there. So
It was just the lack of starting pitching that plagued the Cleveland Guardians at the end because the bullpen got too taxed and exposed. and then they started teeing off on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's another year. Guardians lose. We just lost one of our assistant coaches to the Reds because the Reds hired Terry Francona,
Yeah,
who
Tito.
retired but then unretired.
Hey, he's not even yours. He's the Red Sox. You can't claim Tito.
Tito's an Indians manager.
No, Tito is a Red Sox. Don't
Indian.
do that.
He's an Indian.
Don't do that. Tito is not an Indian / Guardian. He's not a Red, that's for sure.
He's not a Red. And you know what they say? Better dead than red. Even though I'm kind of a Reds fan, because my dad's a Reds fan, so I don't really know.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not watching the World Series. I don't know about you, because I don't want either of them to win. I want them both to lose. Look, Shohei Ohtani's hitting or walk-up song was "The Show Goes On," so I'm rooting for them.
I think that the larger issue, I think, is kind of what you said in that people just don't like either of the teams, and I think they associate that with them being it being a bad World Series, which I actually don't think it is. I think this is probably the most star-studded World Series of either of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
And I'm frankly very excited for it. Even though I have no real dog in the fight, obviously I'm rooting against the New York Yankees, but I'm not. I'll root for the Dodgers, but I'm excited to be able to watch it. I think the complaint that this is it's the big markets, it being the big markets also isn't a very fair argument, because that's not it's not the way baseball is so random that that's not a fair argument. Just because they spent doesn't mean it is.
Baseball is random, but it's less random. I mean, for the teams that spend more money, obviously there's people who are better than others.
Yeah, there's people that are better than others, but it's the better team. I think it was something. The better team more often wins. Baseball is the sport where the better team on paper wins the least amount of times, compared to basketball, football, probably hockey. I wouldn't know that, but Quinn looked into it, and I think the best way to get to, I forget how many games it would have to be, but he was explaining it all to me. But baseball is it was we don't see the two best teams. I forget how long it's been since we've seen the two best, the number one seeds out of each conference face each other in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that there's more randomness to baseball, but it is frustrating still I mean, this is just because I'm a Cleveland fan, and Cleveland does not spend for crap, but it is frustrating that teams can spend so much more money. The payroll, the inequities in the payroll is crazy. I mean, it's crazy, and I think that obviously there's less, there's more random outcomes in this, and it's less easy to predict, and there's more variability, but still, it would be even better and even more random if teams could spend similar.
And it can. It's just some teams choose not to.
Well, some teams can't afford to.
That's not true. All of these teams can afford to.
I don't know about that.
It just depends on how much money they're. It's a trade-off between profitability, wins and profitability. But they're if you spent more, you get people more invested, and you're gonna sell more. It's very. I think it's much more linear than people want to admit.
I don't want to admit that. I'm a Cleveland fan. I'm trying to feel marginalized here. Let me feel a victim and marginalized, please.
I don't know. I think it's all silly, but I'm excited to watch it. I'm gonna go Dodgers in 6. Big thing it's gonna come down to is which team can consistently get 15 outs out of their starting pitcher. whichever team's going to be able to do that and keep their bullpen from getting more and more taxed will win the series. Do you want to give a prediction, or do you not really care?
I think it goes to 7 games, and I think the Los Angeles Dodgers win. I think Shohei Ohtani hits for the cycle in Game 7, and that's how they win it.
You want to know I do know. You want to guess who the only player in postseason history is to hit for the cycle?
Grady Sizemore.
No. Red Sox legend, Grady Sizemore. I think he's connected to the Red Sox.
Was it Babe Ruth?
No.
What era do I have to go to?
The 2010s.
Okay, that's Red Sox legend, Dustin Peralta. Pedroia.
No, it was not. It was not Dustin Peralta or Pedroia.
Was Dustin Peralta a guy?
No, his name's Dustin Pedroia.
I know, but you said it was not Dustin Peralta or Pedroia. I'm like, wait, is Dustin Peralta a guy?
No.
Was I right for a second there? I don't know.
It was Brock Holt.
I don't even know who that is.
Who is also the owner of the slowest pitch ever thrown.
What, like 38?
I think it was 20-something. It was impressively slow.
Put me in.
He's not a pitcher, of course.
I know. I can put it out. I can do that.
Grady Sizemore did play 52 games with the Boston Red Sox. See the discussion about I'm currently watching the Netflix just came out with a 2004 Red Sox documentary, and I've been watching that. And I'm not like, it has me thinking now, like, what is statistically more probable, between the 3-0 comeback in the ALCS, the 3-1 comeback by the Cavaliers, and the 28-3 comeback by the Patriots?
3-0 comeback in the ALCS?
It might be, but it might also...
Wait, no, what is that? What happened?
The Red Sox came back down 3. They're the first team ever to come back down
3-0. Yeah. I'm stupid.
And go watch the documentary. It's actually really good. Or if you want to watch a shorter one, 4 Nights in October.
I feel like I've seen that one.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
But I think the Red Sox, yeah, obviously. I mean, the 3-0 is...
Yeah, 3-0.
Absurd.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be the Cavs one. Because of the thing like we were talking about, because of how random baseball can be over a stretch of time. That, like, there's, like, I don't know if it's more, like, because the Warriors were, like, the better team in, I don't even know if they were the better team. I might have to try and find a way if I can quantify that, actually. I don't know how I can. I'll get the nerds to look into that.
Do we have nerds now? Can we afford that?
Yeah, we've got nerds. Quinn, if you're watching this, get on that. I love you.
I was gonna say shout out Walker.
I love you, Quinn, but I'm gonna need that big brain of yours and that statistics knowledge to figure this out for me, because I'm gonna have to think about it. That and the time zone thing. You get to work on that too.
Time zone thing is. I think you're alone on this one. If you haven't read the former Farmers Almanacs of the 1900s, then you don't really have.
Haven't either. Don't. You're just lying.
I'm not lying. I'm joshing around.
Your name's Joey, silly. Your little brother's Josh.
Oh yeah. Have you never heard joshing around?
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? You know who you're talking to, buddy?
Hey, don't call me buddy, guy.
I've practically invented joshing around, pal.
That's not true.
Can't prove it's not true.
You're washed. You're not fun anymore.
That's not true. I'm
just kidding.
I sat there in the calf today and just stared at the murals.
The Carthage views.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in my day, they didn't even have those up there.
Talking about the chicken bacon loafer sandwich.
Chicken bacon loafer?
You don't remember that? The dark times of the calf?
Chicken bacon loafer? What was that?
I don't know, but it was something they had, like, every day.
I just remember chicken sandwiches. I remember every day just getting the grilled chicken sandwich and fries. Every single day. Without fail.
I'm sure our parents are going to love to hear what money was going towards.
My parents already know this.
It's true. I live off campus now for, 2 years, so I barely.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Living off campus is just better.
I miss the meal plan.
The only good part about living on campus is just that you have the meal plans, you don't have to cook, and you can eat with the fellas.
I can only eat so many chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets and pot pies. And
living off pot pies?
Huh?
You're living off pot pies?
No, just some of the time. Emily's a great cook. And I cook not bad. Hey. Watch it there. Bucko.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just compensating for the fact that I'm getting fat, so.
We're not getting fat. We can skip Boy of the Week. You just want to move into final thoughts?
That's fine.
So you got any?
Oh yeah, my final thoughts. Not gonna lie, we've been slacking recently with ball talk Boyos stuff.
We're just busy.
I mean, I'm on a streak right now where 7 of the last 8 days I have been driving in the car for 3+ hours.
Yeah.
Every single day. So it's
kind
of hard to keep up. I'll come back around. I'll have more time during the week next week. Until then, I go up to Illinois and then maybe Wisconsin that weekend.
Next weekend?
Yeah, conference. I'm going to watch conference. So.
And you're gonna come hang out?
I will for sure. But yeah, we'll get more stuff out soon. Shout out Colt the Vault.
Shout out always.
Yeah. I love the one video I posted the past week about ranking NBA players. It was tough ranking list, and people hated that I put MJ at number 2 below LeBron. Like, immediately, MJ 2 off rip. People hated that, and a certain person at Michael Barber 1225.
Wonder who that guy is.
He said that Topher's corrupted me, and that I'm gonna become a Dak Prescott gobbler now.
I've just corrupted you in a good way.
I've been a LeBron fan I've been a LeBron fan since you were in diapers, buddy. I saw LeBron James play a game in person when I was 3 years old in Cleveland.
You don't remember that. You can't.
I do remember that. Because we dropped off. No. I will die on the hill. We dropped off Josh, baby Josh, like months old at that point. We dropped him off. We dropped him off my aunt's apartment.
Unnecessary lying.
Nope. We dropped him off.
First down.
Nope. We dropped Josh off at my aunt's apartment in Cleveland. And she had this huge she had these big windows in her apartment that I remember, and the sun came in and it was beautiful. I loved it. And then me, my mom, and my dad went to that game, and I was conscious at that age. I know some people didn't gain consciousness till age of 10 or whatever, but I'm different. I'm diffy. I remember it, and I will die on that hill. I will die on that hill, but that's not why I'm a LeBron James fan. Obviously, LeBron James brought a championship home to my beloved Cleveland. But yeah, anyways, that's it.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what else you guys want to see. We'll try to get some more stuff out soon. Some more shorts, some more shorter videos once I have a break from cross country and little gap in classes. Make it a little easier on us. So, but thank you for watching as always, and have a great night. Go Birds.